Welcome to Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, and we're picking up the series on the 6th of October 1987. In this part, we're just going to carry on planning and building and trying to push out the economy. But before that, as usual, a big thank you for your comments and feedback. You guys do give me so much to think about. Part of the discussion on the previous video has put a little bit of a worm in my brain, which could grow into a bit of a monster, but I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. First things first, as somebody kept pointed out, I've kind of got into this habit of always putting a warehouse attached to my stores here, even though they technically got enough capacity to store, especially if you've got a good local distribution office nearby. Truthfully, the only reason I do it is out of habit, and I think this is one of the problems when you play games. You get into a certain habit of doing things and then you don't change, and this is one of the reasons why I do like early access games that kind of shake the mix up from time to time. But I do agree with the point of view that I've got into a very bad habit of just building the same things over and over again. It's like the Lenin University. And I think part of the problem is that when you collect lots and lots of mods, you tend to stick with the mods that you know. So what I've actually spent a bit of time, and it did take quite a long time to actually do it, and I'll probably just try and show with respect to residentials. And what I've done is if you right click on the star here, you can move your favorites up to here, and they also appear if we come into here and we go to residential. What you will see is if you click on this, I think is it the star, you get your favorites come up like this. Favorites I've actually selected for my residential, if I come back to here, are related to the next series. These are going to be my starting buildings for the new series. You can see that none of them have got prefabs in because we're going to be playing to hard mode rules, and I've kind of got together a selection of the buildings I would like to use. And another example is down here is the medical clinics and items here. And I think this is quite a useful way of trying to shake things up and keeping track of your mods, and I think it's really well worth the effort to bring up the mods that you do want to use regularly and the ones that you do like. But of course it does have the trap that you can keep using the same ones over and over again. And probably the key point is, sorry I keep flashing back in there, is that if you are planning a new series and you've got specific buildings in mind, getting them up in this right hand corner and pegged as your favorites will make quite a big difference when you're just doing the initial layout. I mean, just an example here is I've actually found the medium refueling station, which I think is specified in the hard mode option. It was going to be a long time to actually find it, believe it or not, buried in amongst it. I knew I had it, I just couldn't find it amongst all that. And the same applies to the factories. So what I've actually done is I've brought up the biofuel, the calcium furnace, which I've never used before, but I'm kind of half thinking about using this. You can see none of these use prefabs as well, except for that one. This is a small concrete batching plant, which I've done. We've got hot mix there. I mean, I'm not sure I want to use that one. Maybe where I'll have to swap that out. We've got the rock crusher. I'm not sure if I want to use that. Yeah, I think. Let's just have a look at this. Sorry, I don't think that's the one that I intend to use. I think I made a mistake there. I think we'll just flip that out. And I think you do that, you just remove it from your favorites, and it kind of disappears back into the general order. I'm gonna have to find the relevant one for actually making concrete. It's in here somewhere, and you see this is part of the problems, that when you've got 3 pages of mods, trying to find the right one can be a bit of a pain. That's got absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with this series. Now what I do want to do is try and find out what my construction trains are up to, and somebody quite rightly pointed out the fact that I don't use enough rail construction offices to push forward my rail network. And I think part of the problem is that if you don't get early access to steel, building lots of rail construction offices means that life can get very expensive going forward. Anyway, let's just get round here. I think this is probably the more interesting area here. because this is where the big breakthrough is going to be. You can see I've got my construction train working on here, and what I'm hoping is if I can make this link here, that is the really big connection. I mean, we're going to need to put in this bit here as well, but I think if I can get this built here and then this built here, we can then really start moving the fuel and bitumen around the map. Up here, things are going reasonably well. We've pushed out here. We've nearly made this connection up here. And I think I've got a train that's pushed right over here. And I'm just trying to fill in this back curve here. I've also sent a train off in this direction, because what I would like to do is make the connection to this aggregate loading yard. If I can get this line finished, and we'll probably have to put a crossover there so that I can work out this way. I think if I can get out to this point and that means that what we'll be able to do is use a gravel train to start shipping gravel out to here, and it means I won't have to use trucks. So I think I'm getting very close to the point of I can say a major overhaul. We are building this here. I want to check, and we've got helicopter supplies, helicopters there. We've got the food store here. Wow, these guys are really chucking this together. We've got no goods to sell. Yes, I know you've got no goods to sell because I haven't set. The problem I've got is that if I show you here with the Reading food supplies, they're having to haul this all the way out from Winchester. I think for the moment we're just going to add you to that, and you can unload, close, and I think we're just going to push that up a little bit. So there's no point moving people into here until, well, this is, I'm out of range of the probably heater as well. Is it? Where's my heating plant? It's over here. So, so I'm gonna have to put another heating, what we call it, in here. Otherwise I'm gonna have a bit of a problem. So I need to fix that straight away. I think we can just put the heat exchanger. If we put it about there, and we'll just try and can't build due to infrastructure. I think that would be good. Do it with a gravel road. A nice, really close to the fire station. The other thing I want to check is the fire station is good, and we're now getting a little bit of fuel into here. Again, part of the problem is the sheer distance we're having to bring stuff up from. Put this pipeline in. And we'll just come here. I think we'll keep it high. We'll just come. No. Tuck this out here. Am I actually? I think I made the wrong. Put the wrong pipe in actually. Ah, that's a bit more better. But in some ways, that was a bit fortunate. That maybe we'll just. Yeah, I think that would be high enough. And we're just gonna. I think if we bring you out like that. And then hook you into there. I'm not going to allocate this to the helicopters. Hopefully this will get picked up by the construction crews yet. You're not being picked up, so I think we'll just allocate you and you can get out and do that. What else was I doing? Oh yeah, over here what I've got is I've now got the track electrified all the way out to here, and I've got two of my construction trains currently working on this bit of track here. Now at the moment the third construction train in here has nothing to do because At the moment, all the work's been done by this guy. We're going to need to electrify this. So we need to let him to get this built, and then we can get him to come back and electrify it. So here we are getting very close to finishing this. In fact, wow, that should be finished pretty soon. And then what would the main focus is going to be out here. I've got a little bit of a problem with this in the sense that I tried to use the Portsmouth construction office to come and do this, but the train got stuck because I've got no real crossovers here, and I didn't want to mess up workers being shipped from here to the aluminium plant. What I'm going to have to do is leave this bit of track until the train can come all the way back round down into here, which I think would be the easiest way to do it, because it can kind of come round that way, because it's going to take a little while to get this track sorted out. Now, how are we doing? We've got 982 over 21s, but I'm half thinking about maybe putting people in here. Of course, we've got the obligatory warehouse here, which I think in some ways the warehouse is a little bit more relevant here, because this is quite literally in the middle of nowhere. In fact, I think I am going to put the population in here again for the second winter. What we will need to do is set a bus up to... In fact, we better do it now, actually. Let me just buy a bus. Here. What's the workforce? Here. 30. So we probably just need a reasonable size bus. Here. 1983 to present. Well, oh, it's a Mars. I don't really want that, do I? Bus. I'm kind of inclined just to keep this one of these for the moment. In fact, I think I'll buy one or two. I mean, the distance isn't that far, but maybe two might be safer. So we'll just put that there. And actually, we could do this with a crate. We'll actually create a proper line here from York's bus station there, and we'll call you York Heating, and then we'll save it, and then we'll what the... How did you get in there? Delete stop. Made a mistake there. I'm not having a good day today, I'll be completely honest. I just recorded another series and I messed it up completely. And I had to do it completely again. Hopefully I won't have to do it here. And it wasn't anything to do with the game, it's just I wasn't paying attention and I completely messed everything up. Anyway, let me just... I mean, that's my problem, not your problem. I've got a feeling this is going to be one of these days when nothing really goes right. And I think we can pick up a few from here. But where's the 900 odd? I'm a bit worried about the fact that Gosport doesn't have a lot of residents in it. I mean, oops. Thank you, game. And I think Petrograd will have some. Go and check on Gosport in a little while. I know I did pull out really large numbers of population in the last part. Well, we'll check the population. Let me just do one thing at a time. One thing at a time. And where's it? I want a reasonable size block. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16. Put them in the small houses as well. Just kind of spread them around a bit. They're going to be really happy people living in this area here, I think. Just before we have a complete population crash. We're just trying to put people in here. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We've got no workers here. Turn that off. Right. Of course, I didn't do this. I'll just turn off the number of passengers waiting and tourists. And hopefully everyone's going to pile on the bus and we'll get the heating plant fired up. Just make sure this is okay. Yep, no workers, but we got the coal. Oh, I thought I'd put the power connection through from here. Yeah, it's on the job to be list to be done. That's good. Whiz it up a little bit. Just want to make sure this is working. And we've got a population of 63,000 at the moment. My main concern at the moment is whether I'm starting to outstrip my clothes production. I think we're okay for food. So everyone should be as warm as toast now. Or warmish. So we're just going to let them settle down into their new life here. We've got our coal production going there. I really need to get some workers out here because I really need this iron ore online. And it's not going as fast as I would like, which is one of the reasons why I want the jobs around here done. There's another job that I do want built, which is this, because I've noticed that I don't have a distribution office out here for food. And the other thing I've also done is I've got a distribution office here. Right, this one's finished. See which one it is. That's it. No, this one's not finished yet. Because what I'm going to need to do is bring the food from here. We're going to need to move this up to here. Put it in this warehouse. Let's have a look here. Was it this warehouse? Or was it this warehouse? I'm sure I set one up. Okay, limit the amount. I think this is going to be the better of the two. And what I'd like to do is, well, we certainly don't want crops in here. Certainly don't want chemicals. Don't want alcohol. We don't want electronics, plastics, mechanical components, electrical components either. Probably don't need 100 tons of clothes in here. That would cause problems. I think I'd like to get that down to about, say, 50. 275 tons of food is probably a little bit much. So if I drop that down to 195 tons would be quite nice. Then I'll drop that down a little bit as well. Because what I want to do is we're going to bring the food from here, put it into here, and then we'll use the train to ship it down to here. So what we need to do now is just, why are you coming in here? And I wouldn't mind kind of increasing you a little bit. Drop the electronics down a bit. And again, the clothes is a little bit too much. Like that might work there. So what we're going to do is bring the food up to here, and then when this distribution office is finished, we'll be able to distribute the food to here, here, and here, and over there from here. So that's the idea. Anyway, let's just go and take a look at my... This is Petrograd. A little bit worried about these fields, though. I mean, some of these fields haven't stopped, actually got growing yet. I just get this horrible feeling that somehow the farming mechanic has changed. I don't know if you guys have actually noticed anything, but it just seems a bit odd that these fields haven't finished, you know, growing. And I've also noticed it like over here. Although over here it looks like it's actually finished. I mean, that's all in. So it has worked over here. It's just these fields up here. Let me just check the... So this farm is finished. I just wonder whether maybe I've overloaded this farm too much. Because with respect to the combines. The other thing is that maybe I need to do some actual proper testing to see if you know, this configuration here is good. I mean, when we got 6 tractors, maybe I need to put out more tractors so that we do more sowing earlier in the season, because it just, I don't know, it just doesn't seem right, I'll put it that way. Well, we got 2,000 odd tons in there. Yet strangely, this one, what's the profile in here? See, this has got 6 tractors again, but this one seems to be there, although this looks like this one might have a bit of a problem with respect to actually collecting the crops. And I think the problem is that, yeah, it's this one that's a bit kind of overloaded. But we're going to be okay. We've got nearly 4,000 tons in there, which we need to get down to here. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted. Let's just get back to... Right, what I need to do now is we're going to electrify these lines. So we're going to run you through there. Got a heating problem. Yeah, it's probably because it's a fire station. And we'll just pick you up. He's probably, yeah, they're down to 2 jobs now, which we need you to work on that one. What? Ah, didn't mean to do that. Let me just get over here. I mean, that is one of the, that's the tunnel. Don't tell me I've actually finished the tunnel. Yeah, still working. Oh, what are you doing? I don't want you up there. Wait, stop it. I want you doing that one. I don't want that built. I certainly don't want the tunnel. I'm just curious if that tunnel's finished. I think for the moment, because I just need these 2 bits laid here. In fact, this just, I can afford the collision. So if I put a second train on that, we can get this section laid as well. And then that fills in this gap. Then all we got to do is the back curve to here. And then that whole section of track there will be finished. Okay, we got this built here. Right, that means that what I need to do now, let me just check this construction office. If I can find it. Where are you? I'm getting lost on my own map. I should really open up the mini map to find out what's going on. Okay, so we've got this guy building this section in here. We got the guy pushing out that way. So what I want built is what we call it, where is it? I want this built. What's going on here? Okay, you're gonna have to build that. And then of course, then the other thing I want is to build out here, because we need the connection to the aggregate store here. So I'm gonna get that built there. I think if I can get the aggregate store online here, as I say, that is the opposite end to what we want to do over there. So that's done there. Now I don't want this place to be particularly that big. Maybe I don't want that footpath connected there just yet. If I put this here, it will be reasonably clutch. I mean, that should cover this. Yeah, I think probably that is that the factory connections are the wrong way round. Maybe we'll just put this on this side like that. And one thing I do like to put in, if I can find it, mod storage. I'd like to put a slightly bigger cold store in. I must admit, I do like my cold store. And I mean, this is a bit big though, that's the problem. I wish there was a cold store about 7 or 8 tons. If this has got 1 ton, actually I think the small 4-ton store can work. And if I can put that, say, about there like that. Just put the, what's that? I mean, that's the better solution, but that means the road's going in the wrong direction, but that's okay. And then what we can do is, if we just pick this road up and run it back to there like that. So we got, and I think we'll put the bus stop. I want a small bus stop. We'll put this about here like that. And we'll probably have most of the housing kind of coming down this central spine here. That means we can put schools and kindergartens on each side. I don't think we would need a full-blown hospital here, so let me just come in here. Hospitals. I actually found out that the sauna is actually a hospital. Just want to try out. Just want to build this. Now, again, this is more of an experiment with respect to the new series. So if I put that in, say, about there. No, I think my instinct is, well, don't want to put it there. I think we'll put the hospital in later on. We'll just let the guys do their thing over here. We got that working. Let's see here. There's no point. And they're telling me the building's too low. Getting some food in here, so everyone's a little bit happier. Now, my main concern is now related to the fact that, I mean, I think the road up here, if I can find it, is keeping this road open, which makes the whole system very vulnerable. Looks like we're, I mean, we still, it looks like, again, it looks like we've lost the crops because we're in December. So it's almost like you get to December and then the crops are gone because there's no way that all these crops were picked up. See, so we've got an inefficiency here because we're getting losses. Oops. I'm kind of wondering whether, say I put a small farm in, maybe we could get it a bit more efficient that way. Or the alternative is that kind of gotten a little bit of a tricky idea here. I mean, it's going to make managing this quite difficult, but is there any way that we could put this in? I think maybe I've just got too many fields on each farm. I mean, I could put another agro farm in, possibly. Have a look. I mean, any opinions? Feel free to chuck it in the comments. So we could put. You're going to need to. I mean, we could take a field up. I mean, I could put, let's say, another farm. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another farm in there. I mean, it should get picked up by. Thank you, game. These construction crews have got absolutely nothing to do. So you can build that. We got the road crew. Where's the road crew? You're in here somewhere. I know you're in here somewhere. There you are. Oh, you've already picked it up. Thank you. So I'm just put another farm in here and see if we can, by the next season, if we get this built before March, what I might be able to do is split the load a little bit more, because at the moment, I mean, this has got a lot of very big fields on it. I'm just wondering whether these are just too much now. So you can see, I mean, I'm not going to count that lot, but I'd say there's I will count them. So what I've got here is 18 large fields and 1 medium field, which in theory this farm should be able to pick up, but I don't know. I mean, this one doesn't have a problem. I just wonder whether we just can, I mean, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tractors in here, and I've got I'm going to need to do some more testing. I'm a little bit worried about the fact we're down to 1,600 tons of crops in there. I really need to get the crops flowing in from here. See, this farm seems to work very efficiently. How many fields have you got? You've got, now this farm's got 20 fields, but 4 of them are mediums. So maybe this is a little bit overloaded. Anyway, we're going to give it a go and see what happens. And then, well, I'll just keep tinkering with it. Let me just go down here. I just want to check my fuel. I think you might be stealing too much fuel. What are you doing? What's your pickup criteria? You're stealing all my fuel, aren't you? Alright, I think what we're going to do is we're going to change this. We're going to put you directly onto this tank here. And we're going to set you at 30%. there, and we're going to remove you. I think the problem is that this one's got an intermediate pump, where this one, because it's directly connected to the tank, it can actually, you can set the criteria for the pickup. What that should do is stop them stealing all the fuel from here. I certainly need to start building up a little bit of fuel in the long term. So he's now going to ship the bitumen. What that should actually do is, if I tighten up the criteria, I think I might tighten the criteria up even more. I don't petroground oil. Make sure we're on the right storage vault. Yep. I think I'm going to push that up to 40%. Now what that should do is mean that I'll have a lot more fuel to be able to do what we need to do, which I think is going to be clear. I mean, we've got, wow, I'm burning a lot of oil here, and I don't think I've got any new tankers coming in at the moment. Yeah, I think I need to stop that kind of expansion of fuel here, because that's just getting a little bit too much. And because we got no, actually I'm just gonna, a little bit worried about, I think we're gonna remove you and remove you, and I'm gonna put you on there. You're gonna pick up everything over 10%, and you're gonna put it back into there. Don't want 600 tons of fuel in here. I want it back in there because I don't want to run out of fuel. I mean, I've got plenty of money, so it's not like I've got a problem in any other area. I mean, let's just check. Actually, yeah, I'm a little bit concerned about that fuel situation. I mean, we got 230 tons up here, and what have we got over here? See, this is absolutely full of bitumen, but we got no fuel here, which is a cause for concern. That's because at the moment we've got fuel in the gas stations at the moment, but if this has got no fuel, my fuel distribution up here comes from this tank here. So let me just see, what's your criteria? Yep. You actually picking up from the oil storage as opposed to, yeah, what are you doing that for? Oh, I really need to spend a little bit of time picking up from load you there, not unload. We'll just remove you. Okay, we're getting a little bit of a delivery now, which is good. Yep. Yeah, I do really. I think this is one of the problems when you get to a certain size and the economy is still growing. Whoops, slow that up. I think everything's going a little bit too fast. Yeah, I think when your economy gets to a certain size and your population gets a certain size, what you do need to do every so often is kind of stop and see how things are going. So we're kind of running at 63,000 at the moment. As I say, my main concern is with clothes production. I mean, we're getting lots of workers in here, but we're not. I mean, we're actually churning out a lot of fabric, which is good. Yeah, so I think the key is if I can keep these two factories going, I can send out the clothes even for a population of this size, when I've got no idea how much of a population two clothing factories and one fabric factory can actually support. But it looks pretty good at the moment. The real problem is that if I can't keep the constant supply of crops into here, it's going to have a problem. Actually, the other area I haven't looked at is meat. How's the meat situation? Well, we got a little bit of meat here because, of course, we got the trains bringing in the crops, and of course we got, well, wow, we've got a full 800. We might have a problem. Where's my little train? Where are you? I think there might be a problem here. Wait until unloaded. Yep. Yeah, I don't want this guy kind of running backwards and forwards. He's probably got nearly a full load anyway. Because I still want most of the crops going to the meat section. Is probably the polite way of saying it. I'm starting to run out of time on this video, and it's actually the bank holiday here, and I promised my wife that I would not be doing channel related work during the day because, believe it or not, in the UK the sun is actually shining, which is something that's pretty awesome. So let's see if we can get this here. So this guy's actually kind of caught up on his job, so let's just kind of, I think we probably need the heating and get some of this going as well. Let's just kind of get him to focus on this area. And I know I'm overloading again, but I think that would be quite important. How's the supply? This is the supply helicopter. YouTube do Flicker. He's wow. And there's one thing about these helicopter construction offices. They don't hang about when they get going. Yeah, I think if we get the heating set up, then we can kind of do the other bits and pieces here. That road's been built out, so you can hook in this road. This road. I don't think that one's finished yet. Let me just have a quick look, see. Oh, look at that. The guy's moving out. This is something else I'm going to want. This is another rule that I'm going to be using in my new series, is that all construction offices will be set to moving these trucks using open holes. I think I've got one. Let me just see here. I think it could be this one. Yeah, deliverable mechanisms only with trucks. This, in my next playthrough, this is going to be the default setting on all my construction offices, with the possible exception of the first one, because I'll be building very local there. But once we get out away, this is going to be a default setting. I think it's more realistic, especially here in the UK. I mean, you don't see bulldozers and excavators kind of trolling down the road. They're all normally on the back of trucks when they're being moved. So I think that's something that I do want. Actually, it's just, sorry, just come into here. How are you off for jobs? I mean, you're dropping the old job situation down quite well. I mean, it's all coming together quite nicely now. Generally happy with the overall situations, except for the fact that you guys have put the worm in my brain about my city layouts, and there's kind of the devil in me says flatten some of these cities and rebuild them, but I don't think that's going to be practical, to be honest. Let's just see if everybody's happy here in their first real winter. I mean, overall, last winter, well, I don't think I actually put anyone in there, did I? We got a little bit of slack here. I don't want to put too many people in here just at the moment, because I'm not sure that the food supplies are, yeah, the food supplies are getting a bit low, and there's not much I can do about that. So that's going to be a bit of an issue. if they don't get a food delivery. And of course, there's part of the problem is going to be is the fact that there's no tech services out here. So we may still take some losses from here due to food shortages, but it's going to take a little while to get this population up and running. How are we doing? Well, we've got over 21s at 338. So it looks like we're getting... Oh, it looks like I had a spike of escapees. What's causing the problem? 3 citizens, food. There's no kindergarten. Oh, we got kindergarten here. That's the school. Got a kindergarten here, but it's probably a little bit far away from here. Yeah, so it probably means that the kindergarten, whatever here is, I don't know, it's not full. Maybe we need to put another one in, say over here. We've got an indoor pool, so they're all a bit happy there. So who's unhappy? Got meat. Ah, looks like we got a food shortage here. You've got food there. Yeah, so it looks like we've got a possible issue here that I'm going to need to address with respect to... Let's have a quick look at... Without jobs yet. Overall, again, you're not 100% happy, but you're not completely unhappy. Got here a little bit of a food problem here. That could just be due to the winter, because I get the feeling that when the winter that maybe the residents don't travel so far. Yeah, we're certainly going to need to get that rail line bringing in the crops here, because if I'm going to be shipping large quantities of food up in that direction, we're going to need more here. Although 386 is there. How about expansion city? Are you looking happy? Yeah, meat's a bit of an issue, but we can fix that over time. So I think these guys, I think overall expansion city is worked out quite well. Must admit, consider I built this as a temporary city with a long-term intention of actually flattening it. I think it's working quite well as a suburb of Winchester. Gospel, how are you doing down here? Are you looking pretty good? Yep. Everyone's kind of really happy. Yeah. And we'll just check. Portsmouth is happy. Is temperature too low? What's going on? Is there, I think maybe when we got the workers in here. What's this? Yeah, it looks like we may actually have a heating issue here with my heat exchangers. You're 75%. Few any connections. I wonder whether have we got workers in here. Yep, that's good. So I think we've got a borderline heating issue here, which I probably could look at, or I could live with, to be honest. I mean, as long as we don't have a catastrophic population failure, we're okay. 28 workers without jobs, 6 workers without card. Wow, okay, we got a food issue here, so we're gonna get a pretty major population loss here, I think. But there's nothing I can do about it. You're delivering clothes. Let me just check. Customs office. What are we delivering here? Big warehouse. Customs in. Large customs. Why have I got clothes on customs in? Interesting. Don't understand that. I don't seem to have a... Well, it says you should be providing 60% food. Maybe I need to push that up a little bit to 90%. I think we're just getting a food delivery coming in here. Yeah, I think I've kind of outstripped my... I think we're gonna just push that up and reduce that a little bit. Yeah, I think the problem here is that I haven't really... So we'll just drop that down a little bit. Yeah, so... Yeah, I think I need to put a bit more priority on the food supplies in here. And we got a little bit, maybe a little bit too much in the way of clothes. That should flow through, so... Of course, everyone's rushing into the food store. So, yeah. And again, this is an example of how the game can catch you out. You lay in a food supplies for a certain number of the population, and then what happens is that the network kind of lets you down a little bit. But once we got the rail connection through here, which it looks like I've actually made it now. Citizens' happiness is too low. Well, where are you? Again, it's food. We're not getting enough food in here. I need some tech services up here. Big time. When we got these guys, I think what I probably need is more tech services in this area. I mean, they're out kind of making a start, but what we'll do is we'll put some tech services up here. Where are technical services? If I put some tech services here, it needs flat terrain. Yeah, we can put it there. Of course, it's not going to help us this winter, but I think the problem is that it's got to come all the way down here. And I don't think it's helped by the fact that this is actually a gravel road. So we need to work on that. Looks like there might be a health problem here as well. Have I got a hospital in here? I'm sure I got a hospital. Yes, I have. I've got no vehicles. What we got here? One passenger, 90 kilometers an hour. Let's put a mixture in like that. Yep. A bit of a fail there, but this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting. And until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.